This is a short video to show you how to use Geometer's Sketchpad to transform figures like reflecting, translating, and rotations. And Sketchpad is a great tool to do this. You can do it accurately and quickly without too much trouble. And remember that Sketchpad is a required program for this class and that all students have access through it when you log into the Minnows virtual desktop. And the directions for that are both in the technology orientation, that's a separate course, and also in the Getting Started folder of this class, you'll see kind of a short review of that. So let's say that the directions for your assignment said to plot these three coordinates, A, B, C, and these are the vertices of a triangle, and you can see I've already put them into Sketchpad and connected them. And here's how I did that. I'll just do another one off to the side. Let's say that I had to do these coordinates. You just click the point tool and then click the straight edge, the straight line segment here, and connect them. That's all I did already. If you want to label them, click on the A button, that's the text tool, and then click on the point. Now it's going to start at D because I already used ABC. But if you're just starting over, it'll start at A. You can change these by double clicking on them and changing the value to whatever letter you want it to be, or whatever letter's in the problem. Alright, but I don't really want this one, so I'm going to select it and delete it and work with the one that's on here. Alright, let's say that the directions said to reflect this about the y-axis. Well, this is the y-axis, the vertical. In Sketchpad, you make this a line of reflection by double-clicking on it. Now watch what happens when I do this. Did you see those squares pop up? I'll do it again. Watch for those squares. That tells me that Sketchpad knows that this is the line I want to reflect about. Next, I select all the parts of my figure. I select the vertices and the segments that make up my figure. And then I go to transform, because we're making a transformation, and I choose reflect. And it automatically reflected this triangle across the y-axis, and this is the result. You can see that that's correct. That would be if this line was a mirror. It would look like that now. You can change it, the color of it, the way it looks, by going to display and then changing the color. So I changed it green. You could make it a dash line if you wanted. And you can even label it. If I get my text tool, you can see that these automatically will label them so that they're B prime, A prime, and C prime to reflect that this is the point. C prime is the image after the reflection of the point C. So it's been reflected, and now they'll have those apostrophes after it, and we read that as prime. Okay, so I'm going to go to, here's the same triangle. This time I want to translate it. So this time, whoops, I have to start my clicking over because I accidentally clicked in a blank spot, which clears all of your selections. You can also draw a box around it. That's maybe a little quicker. Okay, now I want to go to transform, and this time I want to translate it. So we can translate by a vector, which is the way we're doing it. We're not doing the polar in this class. So we have to say what is the horizontal part of the vector, and let's say I want to translate it by 5 for the horizontal, and let's say 3 for the vertical. And then I click. You can see already that it's already translating. It's kind of a shadow on there, and you click translate, and it has moved every point horizontally 5 and vertically 3. And again, if I want, while it's all selected, I could change the color to show that that's the translation, and it'll automatically update my vertices to A prime, B prime, C prime again. And that's a translation. You can put negative numbers in if you need to translate left or down, or to translate with a negative number in the vector. So that's pretty simple. And then finally, let's look at rotations. How come? This is interesting. My page 3 already has this triangle reflected. which is kind of weird. We will delete that. Okay, so we have, this is our original, our pre-image, and I want to rotate it. So I'm going to do it the quick way of selecting it and just draw a box around it. And now I go again to transform and rotate. This one's a little different. To rotate it, you can rotate it about a fixed angle, which is what we want to do, and then you can pick the angle. And the center F is, I think it's defaulted at 0, 0, unless we change that somehow. So we can change it 90 degrees, and it will be down here. I'm going to go to Edit, Undo. We can rotate it 180 degrees, which would be down here. We can also, I'm going to undo that again. In your assignment, you only have to do 90 or 180, just because the other ones get a little bit trickier to do the math. But Sketchpad, it does the math for us, so we can rotate any number of degrees. We can do 60 degrees, we can do 30 degrees, we could do any number of degrees, 10. And let me just do, let's do 270. Whoops, I did 1,270. I'll leave it that way. So it has rotated 270 degrees about the center 0, 0. And then again, if we click on our vertices, it will automatically update those to reflect that it has been reflected or translated or rotated. So Sketchpad is really great for this. Just one more, if you are going to, when you are ready to work on the chapter project, what you're going to do is create a picture, and then you're going to reflect the picture, you're going to translate the picture, you're going to rotate the picture. So Sketchpad is great. It has this Polygon Tool, which you're going to put, you have to put 10 points on your picture for, I'm going to change this to graph. Snap points will give it nice coordinates instead of like decimal or fractions. So I'm going to make like a house, sort of. And that's the roof of my house. And then I'll go down here and I'll make like a doorway kind of thing. I don't know if I've counted for 10 points there, but you have to have 10 for your project. And then I'll connect the points to make my segments. Maybe it's a barn instead of a house. You know, I thought I was doing the Polygon Tool, but I ended up doing just points, which is fine too. Polygon Tool might have been a little quicker because it would automatically update the side lengths. Okay, so there's my figure. Now you're going to add some extra things to this. You're going to add some windows, you're going to decorate it. Why won't my Polygon Tool make me polygons? Oh, there it is now. And I'll make some, you know, that window at the top where you throw the hay down. And I'll put another window over here. So you're going to, you know, decorate this however you think it best should be decorated. I'm not sure what this is. You know those X kind of things on barns? That's what I was going for there. Okay, anyway, so there's my barn. I have an extra point on there, but... Okay, so I've created a picture, a figure. Let's pretend that that's good. And then you can select the whole thing. And then you can use the tools in Sketchpad to do the different transformations that you have to do. And you're going to start over with this picture each time. So this is my pre-image for each one of my transformations. So each time I will go back to this. You would also label this coordinates A, B, C, D, and so on. And then let's say I wanted to reflect about the x-axis instead of the y-axis. So I click to make that a reflection line. And then I would go to Transform, Reflect. And the whole thing, picture got cut off a little bit, but the whole thing got reflected about the x-axis. So this would be a super nice way to organize your project and to do the work right in Sketchpad. I highly recommend doing this. It'll be easier to turn in. You won't have to take a picture of it. You won't have to scan it. You won't have to try to get a ruler out and connect these lines with rulers. It's just super speedy. So keep that in mind, and I hope this helps you out with your assignments and with your project. Have a great day.